Are you ready, kids?
Hey, squad, shit. Fuck you, bitch. Hey, yo, suck this dick. Fuck you, bitch. Hey, yo, suck this dick. Gruntle, you can suck my rubber dick. I don't care about on this coming bill. Fuck government, fuck rockin', fuck red shade. Fuck y'all who did goose things dirty with the gang. Fuck y'all who don't use your turn signal in my lane. And fuck we'll change the man cause we beat you at your own game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Subject High, the only podcast on the internet with a Season 2. It's the second time I've used that stinger now.
You expect me to follow up after dropping that fucking bomb on me?
Thus far, I have made the two pre-Season 2 podcast people listen to the new intro, which I hope everyone is loving, by the way, because I love it, and I'm probably not going to keep using it for the whole time, but maybe every once in a while I'll bust it out just to keep you on your toes.
Oh, wait, by the way, are swear words allowed?
Yeah. Did you not hear the intro?
Well, fuck me rotten. I could have been wrong. I managed to mess up starting a recording about 3 to 4 separate times in the past 5 minutes. So don't put it past me, bud.
We goofed up the recording a whole bunch.
Well, if anyone recognizes my voice, I think they know what this means.
Yeah, it means that this is our returning guest, and that guest is Rubysnoot, voted most likely to have the most tablets per capita of anyone in the tri-state area.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pray and pray, mom and sub. That means that the snake has begun to eat its own tail. I'm back.
Why is it Latin? Why is it Latin now?
Because the guests are returning.
Well, I guess that is the inevitable conclusion. The guests are returning. The aurora has begun to borealis. Or whatever the fuck Ruby said. And,
See, I was smart.
Now.
I didn't mention the name of it because I don't remember it or cannot pronounce it.
It's fine. It's not the Aurora Borealis, it's the Aurorabus. Or Orobos Vectura.
Oh.
No,
I don't.
But Ruby's back, and he's going to talk to us about something near and dear to his heart. Computers, and what they can do.
I love computers, and I love money, specifically spending as little of it as possible, but frequently as possible? That's been a very unfortunate combination recently. Not my strongest point.
As a result, Ruby has gifted us with a deep base of knowledge on as many different consumer-grade art tablets as humanly possible. Or dragonally possible.
That is a lie, but I have experienced the most in this house, at least.
It's true. You have experienced more than 2.
Yeah. So, that does give me the qualifications, at least in this, backyard area here, to talk about this. I'm sure there's other people who are more knowledgeable about it, but you're not here right now, and this is mine. This is my recording.
That's true. He's claimed it. He's staked his claim, and we have to deal with it.
I've stuck my little tiny burger flag on the end of a toothpick into this.
I love your little tiny burger flag.
Please be careful with it.
All
I
right.
only got 5.
I will defend your tiny little burger flag with my life. I swear to you this.
Yes.
Let's start things off with how you began to walk the path of a many-tableted art person. What was your first tablet? Do you remember the make and or model of it? And how did you come to acquire such a piece of hardware?
My dad. My dad is really funny with new hobbies. He's one of those kind of people that's like, hey, you seem at least pretty interested in this hobby. How about we go down to the store, get the biggest, besterest fucking, thing related to this hobby, and absolutely go hog fucking wild. So that
Okay.
meant, at the time, I've always been into art. I loved art. I love animation, all that good stuff. And my dad was like, "Whoa, you can do art on computers? You can Pixar animates on computers, dude. We should do that." And we got in fact, I think it's still actually in possession of a friend of mine. Her name's Kazi. Um, it's an Intuos medium tablet. God, it's old. You're gonna hear a little bit of clicking here. Hold on. Uh,
That's fine. We do our research in media res.
yes, yeah, here it is. Wacom Intuos 3. This was a good while back. It's so pretty. Kind of has like this slate gray look to it. I'll let's see. I'll send you a little something so you know what it looks like. But that was my first one. It came with
Ooh.
yeah.
I like the look of it. Very sort of 90s-ish, but I don't think you got it then. But it has the design sensibilities and the big clicky buttons of one.
Yes, and it was great. It's old faithful. It lasted me for a damn long while. Although in true fashion of my hobbies when I was a kid, I used it, the first day that we got it, maybe 1 or 2 days thereafter, and then it sat dormant forever until like late middle school. And I started using it as an art tablet on my little bitty laptop, and it was fun. It was great. That was my first one. I'm going to, for the sake of clarity in these in these upcoming references here, I'm going to refer to a tablet that looks like this. It's a Wacom Intuos. You'll probably know them more as like Wacom Bamboos. The little ones that have no screen on it, and it's just like a little mouse pad that you draw on with a stylus pen. And you don't look at it, you look at the screen somewhere else. I'm going to be referring to those as mouse tablets, just because that's kind of, at the core of them, that's what's going on. So that was my first mouse tablet, and then I got a Wacom Intuos Pro Medium sometime down the line as an upgrade, just because that one was kind of going out. Still stuck with the mouse ones though. I still preferred it. I still preferred to kind of feel the paper I was drawing on and watch the screen for it. Uh, my my first my first tablet computer. I'm going to specifically say tablet computer because there's a difference between these and like tablet monitors. Tablet computer is one you can just sort of have on its own. There's no extra computer that needs to be hooked up to it. It's a little laptop with a pen surface on it. I think that one, my first one of those was the Lenovo Mix. They don't make those anymore. It's a 2-in-1 convertible tablet computer, and it comes with a little Wacom pen, Wacom driver specifically. I'll probably go on a rant about that later. That was the first one I got with a screen on it that I could actually draw on top of, and that was great. I actually still have those. I say those plural because the first one that I got after about a year or so, the pen and touch went out completely. I have no idea what happened. I still don't. I've tried my absolute diddly damnedest to get it up and running again. It's just haunted. It's just haunted. I've done my best.
Ghost tablet.
It is. I don't know what's going on. I sent it off to the factory. I sent it to a little in-house repair shop in town. I've done everything I could, and without fail, after like a week of using it, it would just do it again. It would stop. So, whatever. But despite that, I bought another one almost identical to it because I just liked it that much. It was the perfect little portable laptop, portable doodle pad. Ran Windows 10. Um, my voice fucking cracks a whole bunch. Excuse me. Um,
Princess.
uh, and so, but my primary was still a mouse tablet style one for the longest time. Still that Wacom one. I recently got a new Huion. That's been an up and coming for a couple of years now. They've been a really good a good manufacturer to buy from. Fantastic quality, all sorts of good shit. Not bad pricing either, and it's generally very robust. I can't recommend it enough. Um, and they've also recently gotten into something that Wacom was ahead of the curve on, and I think they might have patented for a while because I really didn't see it outside of them either. It was some sort of like weird electromagnetic like energy transfer thing, whatever. I don't remember the exact specifics of it, but it was basically the thing where the pen had no batteries, but no matter what, whenever you held it close to the surface, it would just it would just register, and you could draw with it, and there was never anything you had to worry about. Um, on the little Lenovo tablet computers that I got, they specifically had not double A, not triple A, quadruple A batteries. Real?
What? I didn't even know it went that small.
Yeah, I have one here in my little drawer as a backup. Um, yeah, somewhere. But yeah, they're real fucking tiny. They're like the diameter of a cigarette, and they slip right into a little tiny cavity in there, and it powers it for a good few months, like a good while. Um, some pens can be
It
charged.
runs for that long on two little piddly poots of charge?
I guess you'd be surprised. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of a
Yeah,
battery
I'm
that small,
surprised.
but I guess it's it's great. But it does mean there's a little extra maintenance to it. But Huion's finally gotten not ahead of the curve, but finally caught up to it, I guess, rather. They have those magic pens now that do the thing. And now, I have, I have a little Chromebook now that I'm actually very eagerly awaiting a new tablet pen to come in for that. Um, I don't know. Shit, I'm starting to ramble a little bit. Do you have a what are your initial thoughts here to kind of rein me in a bit?
I appreciate you laying out the full tablet timeline, but there's one thing that I wanted to sort of grill you for your opinion on. As somebody who has tried out a good few tablets, not many of them being the big Wacom brands. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever played with a Wacom Bamboo yourself.
Outside of that Wacom Intuos and the Wacom Intuos Pro that I had, those are the only two I've worked with specifically. However, I have up until very recently always preferred Wacom pen drivers when it comes to the pen technology. Those two Lenovo tablets and a third one, no less. A it's like a Lenovo Yoga or whatever. It's weird. It's like a little tiny touch tablet, but it folds open like a little tiny laptop computer, and there's a surface you draw on, not the screen, but like it has a pen, it has a mouse tablet built into it, and I actually kind of preferred that for doodling. Um, and you've seen it; it's real teeny tiny, but every time I've gotten one of these things, it's been specifically with Wacom drivers, and I don't the reason I say I prefer Wacom drivers is if there's an alternative, there is a lot of when tablet computers started getting more popular for like an art replacement, and Wacom was no longer the de facto go to. Here's a tablet computer. Because they did that for a little while, and it was really nice, but very expensive. I think it's like a Wacom Nomad or something. Um, they Windows started providing its own pens and own pen drivers, referred to as Windows Ink. You more than likely see it now on the bottom right hand of your computer screen. Windows Ink Workspace, if you have a tablet plugged in. Um, it's I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of how it works. The few times that I've managed to try it out, usually they've been on Windows Surface tablets. Um, I've not been super impressed. They do not have, or at least the version that I used to use a couple of years ago. It just did not feel the same. It felt like there was a little bit of lag going on. It felt like the pens themselves were not customizable. Like you couldn't at the driver level customize how much pressure you would actually put out with each stroke. You couldn't customize the barrel buttons. There was all sorts of stuff that just really wasn't there for you. You had to rely on the program that you were drawing through to really hash anything out specifically, and that just didn't gel with me.
Sort of speaking for devil's advocate, I have tried both. I have only more or less exclusively used Wacom based tablets and Windows ink running ones because I have a little mobile tablet in Microsoft Surface,
Yes.
and I have noticed no major difference that I could tell.
Yeah, and in all fairness, I get really picky and kind of persnickety with this kind of stuff. So maybe it's totally placebo. Maybe all of these kind of have that one little quirk in them that I'm just willing to overlook for certain brands or certain setups. But I would swear to you up and down that there is something different whenever I was using the exclusively Windows Ink powered pens. But I know you do have the Surface Go, and in fact, my little sister has the Surface Go 2, I think. And both you and she both have enjoyed that pretty well.
I have found great use out of it. I think it's a swell little machine. It's not exactly a budget option, but it is cheaper than the Surface Pro.
Yeah.
When it comes to budget options, that is one thing that I wanted to ask for you, or rather ask of you, is for your money, what is the cheapest both screen tablet and mouse tablet that you have used, and how would you compare it to a higher end one that you have used?
Uh, that starts to get a little tough because I don't know how well I can give you comparisons or say, oh, this is definitely, the best bang for your buck features wise, because gosh, I'll be honest, man. I don't use nearly as many of the hotkeys and features and stuff that some of these things offer. Yeah, I mean, like I used the scroll wheel or the zoom wheel on my Wacom Intuos Pro for a little while, just for zoom options and stuff like that. You actually have, you've seen it recently. I use now a little half keyboard as my hotkeys thing. I actually don't even use the buttons on my tablet right now. Um, but just as a general rule of thumb, for pen, not pen, for mouse tablets, um, I've had a lot of luck with Julian. Just if you want to go with a trusted manufacturer right off the bat, and not necessarily have to worry about it. They have generally good customer service from what I've heard, and I mean, shit, their stuff is cheap. Like not in a bad way, but like literally, uh, gosh, like hold on, I know I still have the receipt for this tablet that I got, and it's the tablet I got recently to replace my old one was had like a larger active surface area on it and generally a smaller footprint on my desk. It was fantastic. Yeah, $80 or less, and this is a solid tablet that'll last you a good while. But I mean, they get even smaller and more cheap. The budget option you get is $30. And supposedly this is actually compatible with Android. I've never tried that, but if you don't want to invest in, heaven forbid, a computer to do this with, you can apparently hook this up to your phone. I I don't know what to make of that. I haven't tried that, but that does sound very interesting. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to begin about that.
no, I wouldn't. Wait, I do know how to. Uh, in the meantime, while I wait for my pen to come in for my newest tablet, my newest financial decision, to be generous, I can plug this thing into my Chromebook. I think I can,
Oh my god.
I think I can plug it into my Chromebook. Maybe? Oh
Yeah, we
no!
are having a breakthrough right here, right now.
Oh no! Oh. Oh. Okay. No. I'm not gonna get into this right now. I'm gonna do it later. But oh. Oh no.
Oh,
Um.
oh no, we're about to get into something.
Yeah. So now, I mean, these things do get cheaper, and I'm certain that you can find bigger for less too. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that's a bad idea either, just because pen and touch technology has gotten so solidified in the mainstream space right now that I really wouldn't say there's a bad avenue to try, so long as you don't spend make or break money on it. You know what I mean?
It's fair.
So long as you're not putting yourself out, I think now's a perfect time just to kind of experiment and see what sticks. But for my money, I've had a lot of good things to say about Huion, and I mean, for all intents and purposes, this stuff's pretty solid, pretty cheap. Um, when it comes to screen tablets, or tablet computers rather, uh, excuse me, I I mean that's tough because I've really only had experience with those two Lenovo's, um, and as much fun as I've had with them, and as much as I, have applauded Lenovo for some of the weird stuff they've done, that, to be fair, certainly haven't stuck around. It's not like they make any of the models that I'm interested in anymore. But I, I actually might put a hold on this. I want to see how this Chromebook is going to handle with a tablet coming in. Um, Something that's been very interesting to me coming up. I started doing a bit of digging whenever I started looking into what my options were with this little Chromebook that I got, and supposedly there now exists something referred to as the USI, or Universal Stylus Initiative.
Yes,
And
definitely talk about this.
yes, I was super excited to see this because this is something I've been wanting for so long. Um, so previously, when I've been working with some of these, just fiddling around, looking at like Android tablets online that were, possibly pen and touch compatible. Well, obviously touch, but pen compatible specifically. 9 times out of 10, it was just like, oh, well, you can buy one of those like squishy, finger stylus things that it has a little rubber, ball at the end of it, and it mimics your big stupid fat finger, jamming the screen. And I think that's referred to as capacitive touch. Um, the point is, the only thing that was being tracked was, contact, and depending on your point of view, it wasn't even really that great. Um, there were some tablets out there, and that was actually what led me to get. It was some little yoga thing. It's that little tiny slim tablet with the mouse, with the mouse thingy on it that I mentioned earlier. But that's what led me to get that, just because it has digitized pen. That allows you to have levels of pressure sensitivity. It gives you those smooth lines, and the software on board can handle, stabilizing it.
It is specifically built for, dictating art, anything that might involve more than just scribbling, your finger across the screen. USI that I've started to read into is an initiative that's trying to make I don't know however many people listening remember getting a cell phone before before like iPhones stepped in and Android started becoming more like sort of solidified. But before that, with all the flip phones and all like just the regular cell phones and shit that you got, it was fine. It was fun. There was like 1,000,001 different connectors that plugged into the phone and into the wall or into a USB. And someone finally came along and said, "Oh, what the fuck, bud? This sucks, and all this e-waste is nuts." And then we got the sort of standard that is micro USB, or at the very least, phones were reined into that, except Apple. So now there's a thing going on where they're trying to unify styluses and the software that handles them. USI stylus are built to pretty much just plug and play. They will run on a battery, I think, because I don't necessarily think they're trying to make it to where every tablet has that, magic pen thing where it charges the pen while it's hovering over it. But, you put the battery in, you turn it on, and you're good to go. It just will accept whatever tablet it's given and vice versa. And the one that I got was only like $30 to $40. That's not bad. Plus, it's got, I think, upwards of 4,000 some odd levels of pressure sensitivity. It's not something to thumb your nose at least not for me anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other artists that actually use all 8,000 that they can get up to, but for my money, this is going to be a doodle tablet. This is going to be something for me just to have fun with while I'm out and around. And if I can trust that whatever stylus I pick up from the store is going to work with this, that's fantastic. That's so cool. I'm so excited that we're seeing some of this technology getting so far along and so trivial to manufacturers that it's no big deal to basically say, all right, we'll conform to this sort of standard, so that anyone can use our stuff, and we can expect the manufacturers of the stuff that will accept styluses or vice versa. They'll be able to handle what we make also.
It's an understandably neat sort of precedent to see coming to the forefront, and it's really good for the end user.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And if these current prices are anything to go off of, I think it's going to be really accessible, especially too, like if these because I've seen a lot of people using iPads specifically as art tools. That's their main creation station, and you know what As much as I wasn't really interested in an iOS tablet, I definitely see the appeal and kind of now the power behind having just a go anywhere, do anything tablet with you that serves as your main workstation. And for the price point that some of these get into, like you could be looking at a cheap tablet that does what you need to, and a pen and a little bit of software on it for $300 or less, $200 or less, easy. I think that's a fantastic ground floor to get in. For basically a hell of a lot of features you can get. For artistry and on the go shit.
Yeah. Man, I just looked at the waveforms of the conversation thus far, and I've seen that I have done so little talking. It's a good thing that I brought on an actual expert in this sort of field to carry the conversation, so that I could spend my recording time playing Raid: Shadow Legends, the sponsor for this episode.
Oh, no, shit!
No, I still have no sponsors. Raid, hit me up. I'll shell for your terrible video game.
I won't.
I should cut that out just in case. No, you will. If you're gonna be my guest, you're gonna help me do the ad spot.
No way! I'm gonna shill for Azure Lane! The only
No,
gacha
you're not.
game with girls
No.
and boats and guns and fried tempura torpedoes!
We're not shilling for Azure Lane on this podcast. If anything, if there's any anime gacha game we're gonna shill for, it's Dragalia Lost. That's what we do in this household. I've wailed too hard to let it go unpunished. If I could get Mr. Lost's attention, maybe he'll give me my money back.
You're right.
You don't even have to pay me for the ad spot, Mr. Lost. Just give back all the money I've already spent and we'll call it square.
Thankfully, if you're not interested in gacha games or anime, there's Bloons Tower Defense 6, baby! It's on iOS, Android, PC, probably console, I don't know.
No, stop. We're shilling too many things. This is all a joke. They're not paying us.
Are you sure?
I'm not gonna see any... I'm pretty fucking sure that I'm not gonna get anything from Bloons Tower Defense, especially as derisively as I've used Bloons Tower Defense's name in the past.
God damn it, I've been shilling for Julian this whole time! And Wacom!
Well, that's... Oh, damn it, you're right. Fuck! We should have come up with our own proprietary brands, like a Dan Schneider sitcom.
What?
Do you remember those fake, like, brands from Drake and Josh?
Oh, like the fucking, the pear apples replacement.
And the Game Sphere and the Mocha Cola.
I shouldn't have been drinking.
This podcast is sponsored by the Game Sphere.
It's spherical! Oh, no. Shit.
But I derailed this real hard. I couldn't have this podcast be too informative. We needed at least 5 minutes of babbling.
No, I'm going off too much, and also I really, really want to stress I'm not an expert, and a lot of this shit's just my preferences and experience. That's only worth as much as, you put behind it. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but I am the idiot spending money on this stuff.
Yeah. This is only the how-to step-by-step guide to draw exactly like the Rubysnoot.
Oh,
don't take
yes!
it, soup. Yeah. I put some respect on your name. No, but that is something to be sure, is that, your experience may vary. If you're just starting out, my recommendation is go with not the cheapest thing. Like, don't buy like the Walmart brand tablet, the Great Value brand tablet. You want something that's usable. My go-to example that wowed and shocked me is, for the longest time, one of the best artists that I have had the pleasure of knowing personally, Beck, otherwise known as Zubuzz on Twitter. I got to meet her in person one time. We went to a cool wedding, and that's a story for another time. It was not our wedding, and I'm not welcome back at that wedding. But again, that's a story for another time. Ruby, stop pressing me. I'm not going into it.
Hey, who?
Beck. No.
What happened?
Beck drew... I ruined it. I did the Shrek thing where I ran in and the dragon fucked it up. It was awesome.
Unfortunately, I was not the dragon.
No. Don't give me more drawing ideas.
No. I can't promise that.
It's true. You can't stop it. But Beck, I got to see what she had been drawing on for so long. She's incredibly talented. She's super expressive. Her sketches alone are great. Go commission her. And commission some safe for work stuff from her, because she's been drawing lots of porn, and she deserves a fun break.
Yeah.
Get her to draw a character for you, or buy an adoptable. There's lots of good options.
There's lots of good options, and she's a good person.
Yeah. She drew on the smallest ass, fucking tiniest, scratched up ass little Wacom bamboo tablet I've ever seen in all my days. It barely fit in her monstrous giant palms. but she used that thing so much that she wore the little dots on it away. It looked like a fucking cat got on it, and it very well might have, because she has a great cat. It's like the coolest cat I've ever hung out with.
Oh, yeah.
She is able to do these wondrous works, these amazing pieces of art. Most of her drawing history was done on this until I sent her a better tablet because her other one was failing as a Christmas present.
Yeah.
It put out for like several years. The budget Wacom option, the cheapest thing they had, with enough perseverance, you can definitely push through. You can make these things work.
Yeah,
even
and
the cheapest, shittiest little tablet will be a good vessel for you, the artist, to shine through.
that is something I do want to pressure. That, as you know, as much as I love all these weird gadgets and odd ways to go about stuff, you literally can start with anything. I think the fun thing about all this is that right now a lot of stuff is becoming cheaper, a lot of stuff is becoming more accessible, and you have options. You have so many options, and you know, barring actual mechanical failure to do what you're trying to do with it, you can make this stuff last literally as long as you want. Outside of all of my recommendations, know that that getting on the ground floor is basically as easy as throwing yourself through the window next to the door. There's so many awesome options for you. We know a friend who just does it on his phone with a finger.
Oh my god, that shit's so insane. We've watched him do it. We've watched him draw on that fucking phone,
and I still don't believe it.
I don't get it. I am one of the people who does swear by the fact that a better tablet that has more options can help you to improve as an artist.
Yes.
Like, I foolishly upgraded to a big Wacom Cintiq.
Yeah.
Because I was running out of desk space and I was getting tired of being hunched over. It was hurting my back. And so I used some of the money that I'd saved up for fucking forever to buy a big screen tablet. And I think my stuff has gotten better and it's gotten faster. Just by changing the way that I go about drawing. Now, the tablet did not make me a better artist. More favorable conditions helped me to improve my art.
Yeah.
But it does help that you with enough sort of assistance, as it were, are able to sort of overcome those limitations. Really let your stuff speak for itself.
Yeah, you can start with anything, but a lot of this stuff gives you room to grow if you need it. Yeah. And there's some people who just use mice too. Like, some people just use computer mice and MS Paint, and that blows my mind.
Oh yeah, no. There's no. I've talked about this with Ruby literally yesterday because it still blows my mind, but I saw it like 3 years ago. I watched somebody do a drawing of Ryu from Street Fighter in fucking Microsoft Excel. They just colored the cells differently, and it was like a long pointillism piece. And it turned into Ryu from fucking Street Fighter at the end.
It's these motherfuckers.
You can make art on anything.
Yeah, Minecraft. These motherfuckers that do pixel art in Minecraft. You can do it with anything, but, there's other options, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely worth exploring if you want to make art a consistent hobby of yours.
Yes. And, I think there's a lot of fun ways to do it now. There's a lot of fun things you can try, and depending on where you look, they might not be that expensive.
So, with all that being said, the question becomes, what the fuck do you do with all this?
What do I do with all this?
I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, this has gotten a little bit off the rails, but I wanted to tap into Ruby's sort of expertise on the matter, not to make recommendations, but to just sort of illustrate some of the tools of the trade, as it were, especially as Ruby has tried a lot of weirdo things.
Yeah, I've spent my money very well. I'm not going to say smart. None of these have been smart purchases, but these have been fun purchases.
Yeah.
I didn't need, a portable drawing tablet, but you know what? It was a lot of fun, and I've started to actually the one that I got most recently. Well, not the Chromebook one, but the one prior. You know, it's not a replacement for my desktop, but the fact that it's so small, so lightweight, it runs Android, and the fact that it comes with like a little mouse tablet style, fold out thingy, little go gadget portable Wacom bamboo, basically, with a screen. The fact that it was so easy to do compared to like a Windows environment, because there is some concessions you need to make with how small you get with that. Um, I've been able to doodle more. I've been able just to like scribble out fun little whatevers on my breaks and free time and stuff, or just whenever I don't feel like setting the whole thing up at home, and that's been great for me. It has not
Yeah.
been the ideal in artistic environment for full finished pieces, but it's great for what I want, and that's just flexibility.
I literally have nothing to add. I feel like I'm just sort of letting this be the Ruby show, but
Well,
take it from the person who knows it best.
well, let's roll a little bit back into your court, because I know you've done some buck wild stuff recently with things that I've never touched. Uh, like you
Okay.
said, you got this big fuck off Cintiq and a big funny wacky arm that's grappled to your desk. You've got like a curved monitor and stuff. What have you like what has this done for you, I guess? You like you said, you,
Uh
you were you were hurting over the Wacom tablet before you had, and I even before, when you first got here, you had a pretty nice setup, but you've continued to sort of up the ante, and you know you've continued to up the ante and give yourself more and more options. I want to know what that's done for you, and what if you had to start fresh, what you think you need, and what you would sort of slim down on.
all right. If I were to quote unquote start fresh with my current set of skills, I think it would be not hard to transition back to doing a non-screen tablet, but it would be different. One thing I would do is I would probably go smaller than the one that I bought right now.
Yeah,
If I were to completely wipe my desk clean and get a different setup, I'd probably start by getting a different desk that's at a that's slightly lower, so that I don't have to like hunch over it weird.
yeah,
This desk is like an Amazon like shitty like $20 little curved desk that I got because I got tired of my other one that was like a big long slab that I
yeah.
didn't have any room to move in. And this desk is cluttered as shit. I've got my podcast mic hooked over the back of the corner that faces outward towards my door, and it hangs over between my two main monitors. And then off to the side, it's like an L piece. It's a fucking corner desk. It's a desk meant for a corner that I've used to create a small hallway into my tiny room. I've got no ability to move in here, and that's exactly what I want. I don't ever want to stand up. I want to just be able to I want to be in a complete fucking screen cocoon.
Yeah, you're
And
halfway there, bud.
yeah, I'm the big Wacom Cintiq hanging off the side of my desk, powered by a go gadget grapple arm,
That you
has
almost
been.
broke day one.
I did break it. I fucking jammed one of the tools for adjusting it inside of it, and I tried my best to pull it out, and like a big pile of metal shavings appeared on the floor. I almost fucked this thing up.
You
All this shit
did.
was expensive, and I was just dicking around with it.
We had to
Don't
spend
be like me.
we had to
Fucking
spend
read
half
the
the day
instructions.
trying to pull that like weird key out of it.
Oh, my arm was so fucking sore. If you're gonna look into like weird peripheral shit, like a fucking extendo arm and stretchy arm and extendo finger to hold your tablet for you because you literally don't have any desk space because your desk is a weird L. Like, at least be careful with it. I shouldn't have to say that to anyone, but I'm saying it mostly for myself. Don't be fucking stupid. Don't be a dullard. Don't brute force your technology. You don't have to smack your machines around. It's actually bad for them.
It is actually. I work in IT. I can confirm this. Don't do it
Yeah.
unless you
Don't hit
really
'em.
want to do something cool to it.
Yeah. In which case, hit away. But no, I would probably go if I were to adjust my setup for a completely roll the Lord vessel, the soul vessel, roll my stats back and restart my art setup.
Yeah.
That is a Dark Souls 2 reference no one's gonna care about. But I would definitely go with a smaller tablet than the one that I have now. Because this is I think 24 inches. It's fucking massive. It's
Yeah,
so
that is essentially just another monitor.
Yeah, and I do use it as another monitor. But one thing is the Cintiq has come with this cool little remote control on it that I want to learn how to use more of the buttons on. Because as it stands, I mostly just use its little scrolly wheel for zooming in and out, and I use it for its undo button. But
Yeah,
this
I
thing
almost
has
forgot about that.
1, 2. Yeah, it's been great. It's been really good to me. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programmable buttons on the side, on the fucking face side of it.
Yeah.
As well as 3 different modes for what the scroll wheel does. You can use it to zoom in, adjust your pen size, or rotate the canvas. All 3 very useful options. I should be using more frequently. As well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 little programmable key buttons, all within your grasp, because this thing fits in the palm of your hand. It's a super powerful device that I'm just not using to the fullest potential. I paid a damn lot of money for this thing. I could have paid to get my car fixed. And then some.
You wouldn't
But
fix your car if you had the money for it. You have the money for it and you're not fixing your car.
I do. It's because I don't drive it. I still work from home.
Your poor fucking
I don't
car!
need to go anywhere. I'll fix it when I have to go back to work. If.
Your poor fucking car! The radiator fan doesn't work!
We're not talking about my car right now. My car is fine. The dent in the side of it and the misfunctioning radiator fan are both fine. I don't drive it.
I weep for your car! It overheats standing still!
That's the only time it overheats, though. All I have to do is keep moving. It's a shark car. Stop talking about my fucking car. I just realized, god damn it, I turned away from the microphone to look at my stupid tablet, so I'm probably going to be muffled. It's fucking welcome to the Kenny South Park cast. Kenny, what do you think of the tablet? Shut the fuck up. You got me going on about my stupid car. I would buy a smaller tablet. I would go smaller. I like the big one. I like that it's huge and beefy. But I could have saved a lot of money if I had known it was going to be this big. Even just one size smaller would have done me. I keep doing this. I was gifted an Intuos Pro at one point, and it was too big. It was the large, and the large is insanely big. I still have it, just in case this screen one doesn't work out and I have to switch back to the old stuff. But it's too fucking big. I only ever used the middle of it. I never used it to its fullest potential, because it's too big.
Yeah. So you definitely want to get a smaller screen tablet if you have to do it again.
Yeah. Work within the means of your environment. Don't buy the biggest tablet because you think bigger is better. It's clearly not. It might be. If you have a big open space on your desk and you draw in big, wide, sweeping strokes, then a big tablet's probably perfect for you.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, the big tablet with the screen on it has been useful for me because I do a lot of stuff with the entirety of the screen now. Because I can. Yes. I do animations on it, and it allows me to play with the timeline with a lot more ease and style, more steez than otherwise.
That is a big thing to consider, just how cluttered, your UI is going to be, because I've noticed, using smaller screens or smaller computers, sometimes you do notice that, oh man, there's really not as much real estate for just for your art on there when it's cluttered up with all the other, functions and layers and settings and things that you usually work with.
So it's not like big is not useful. It's not like it's a scam, but it's literally just got to be for your purposes. If you are a bare bones user, you don't have a bunch of windows open, you don't have CSPs, 3D modeling tool library open on the side. You don't have the animation timeline up. Like, the way that the size that this thing is at now, I have, like, the big-ass layer panel, I have the 3D model thing, the timeline stretched out to be half the screen, and I've still got, like, a piece of paper size for drawing there. Yeah. That's perfect. When I'm getting in the weeds, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is going to be a completely pointless episode because it's going to boil down to some version of follow your dreams, but more or less follow what will not hurt your back when you hunch over drawing it. Don't spend yourself to the poorhouse on a tablet. They're all fine.
I mean,
I recommend within reason.
Yeah, I mean, it really boils down to just, do what works for you, but also have an idea what works for you. I even remember talking to you about this while we were discussing you actually getting these new tablets and things, that you wanted the Wacom Cintiq, while there were other screen tablets out there that would have been just as good. You went bigger, you went home. And yeah. I've noticed that in some of your other hobbies too. You definitely go big on this stuff.
Yeah, I don't spend money on myself too often, but when I do, it's usually a big purchase. I definitely got that from my dad, who goes big on a hobby. Although more so now, it's been many small purchases of Funko Pops that fill up the entirety of the house.
The Funko dungeon.
Yeah, I don't like going home because I have to sleep in the Funko dungeon because my room has become my siblings' weed smoking room and I can't sleep in there.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Man, that's a bigger illustration of my home life than I intended for. But all of this is to say that you could do it if you really want to. you could go big, you can go home.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of really, economical options too. You can get into this stuff easily within the low three figures.
Yeah. And that's if you're talking upgrades, because if you just want like a starter tablet, I always advise everyone to go with the Wacom Bamboo. I don't even know if they still fucking sell that.
Yeah,
do they?
I don't know. I mean, my oh well, here we go. Hold on, Wacom tablet. Well, excuse me. It is now referred to as the Intuos line. Intuos is Wacom's mouse tablet style thing, and I think looks like the smallest one here you can get for $80. But
yeah, I just looked it up on Amazon, and there's something called the XP Pen Star G6406 by 4-inch ultra thin tablet drawing tablet pen graphics digital tablet with battery-free stylus with 8,192 levels of pressure. This looks like the same exact thing for half the price.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something, if you want to get into art, just don't buy the next big video game. Wait until it's on sale for $20. Cut the difference. Get the tablet now.
Yeah.
Get this $40 tablet now.
You've got options, and I promise, the technology is caught up. You got a lot of good options. I think that's what this boils down to overall. I'm rambling a bunch, but that's that. I don't know. I like to shop around.
I'm looking at this tablet right now. It looks kind of fun. They've got gaming as one of the things it's good at, and it's got a little picture of Osu, which I guess is the only game you can play with a drawing tablet.
Yeah, what the fuck do they mean, gaming? Gaming
I have no idea.
On a drawing tablet? No.
Yeah, join a shooter lobby and absolutely send yourself into vertigo hell when your character spins around 1,000,000 miles an hour because the computer doesn't know what the fuck you're doing.
It's like using tilt controls, but for Call of Duty.
I was using the steering wheel controller.
Could you fucking imagine?
To play Dark Souls.
Galmon, what? Aw, look at this cute bitch. Hold on. Gotta snap a little picture.
Okay.
I love some of these, like, some of these weird mascots you find on, like, third party stuff. Look at that.
Aw, it's a little tablet mascot. Buy this one now. Buy whatever tablet this is.
Gaumon M10K 2018. Whatever the hell this is. Oh, but it's so cute,
Yeah.
and they're advertising the Adobe Creative Cloud. Fuck the Adobe Creative Cloud.
Adobe Creative Cloud doesn't have a cute mascot. Get out of there, Galmon.
Get out of there quick. By the way,
Oh.
Adobe's a scam. Don't get it.
Yeah, we're not going to get into it. Don't do Adobe. If you want a good drawing fucking thing that's the same exact thing as Photoshop, get Paint Tool Sci.
Yeah.
No, get Clip Studio Paint. Otherwise, get Paint Tool Sci. That's another thing. Is Beck does all her drawing in fucking Sci.
Yeah.
You don't need an expensive drawing program.
Yeah, or fucking Fire Alpaca, Krita. There's like a million different ones. Sketchbook is free now. There's so many good
GIMP.
good things. GIMP is just Photoshop but free. You don't
Get GIMP.
Yeah, there's something to be said for using file formats and industry standard programs and stuff for compatibility's sake, but I really don't think that as a hobbyist, as a starting artist, you don't need that kind of stuff, especially if you're going to be paying out the ass each month for that. Ooh, that's something I'll die mad about, the subscription model. Ugh.
I do have a way around the subscription model.
Yeah, that's no. Well, you get to say this because this is your story, but I love this story.
Here's a fun secret Adobe doesn't want you to know. At least this was true as of 3 years ago when I was in college. You can keep all the Adobe Creative Cloud demos going as long as you never close the program and never shut down your computer.
Yep.
And so for 4 years, while I got my graphic design minor, waste of a minor, by the way, I didn't learn a damn thing. I'm bad at graphic design. I downloaded the Adobe Creative Cloud on my first day with the computer that they made me buy, the overpriced computer that I didn't like using, that they said was necessary, and so I spent a bunch of money on it. I downloaded the Adobe Creative Cloud and never, ever, for 4 years, turned that computer off or let it run out of batteries.
Yep.
And I saved... The computer's dead now, by the way. After 4 years of never being turned off, it doesn't hold a battery charge anymore. It just doesn't do it. However, in killing this computer, I saved like $1,500 versus doing a full-on Adobe subscription. That's fucked up. That it was more economic for me to kill my computer, to see the lamentation of its women, to see it driven before me. I culled this computer to save some Skrilla, and now it's dead. I killed it.
To have salted the earth of its motherboard.
Yeah. Fucking MacBook Delenda est. It does not need to exist anymore. And it was a worthy sacrifice so that I could steal $3,000 worth of fucking subscription dollary dues from Adobe. And that's with the student discount. Don't go with Adobe. If there's one thing that this podcast can impart on you, it's that Adobe is a big toilet, that your money goes down.
And ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
this exact mindset is the reason why I'm so worried about Hook's car!
Look, I'm not running any Adobe Creative Cloud on my car right now. Its death is not assured. I will get it fixed. But it's the opposite problem of my computer, is I'm just never turning it on. I don't drive anywhere. I don't need to. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything.
So you're taking
when the time comes, I'll get in.
You're taking the approach of, if I have a nap, the problems won't happen because I'm asleep.
If I don't drive it anywhere, it doesn't matter that it overheats. It only overheats the one time that I drove it to Popeyes.
It does it continuously every time you go to that Popeyes.
No, sometimes that Popeyes has quick service. I should know. I drove there the other week. My car didn't overheat. I like Popeyes.
And then you come home drenched in sweat because he had to turn the heat on to pull heat away from the engine.
I had to just sit there baking like a fucking trout in the oven because I had to turn the heat on full blast so that my engine wouldn't start smoking at the drive-thru like it did the first time that I found this was a problem.
Fix your car, it's just a fan!
Alright, thanks everybody for coming to the podcast. This has been Subject High, the only podcast on the internet with the guests who do. And I'm gonna stop the recording before Ruby can lecture me about my car anymore. Bye.
Your car!
No, bye.